Every day I wake up, wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Now, start off with some quick sports. Game 2 of the WNBA Finals. The Aces beat the Mercury last night, 91-78. I was waiting for Charlamagne to say something. I forgot he's on delay. Also,
oh yeah, but I'm on a delay. I'm scared to talk. But yes, drop on the clues bombs for the Las Vegas Aces, man. Okay, Asia Wilson, Jackie Young. I'm enjoying the WNBA games. You don't watch the WNBA games? WNBA games be fun. I don't know why they put it on yesterday in the middle of football.
Yeah,
Sunday
that was
football.
stupid. It was like 3 o'clock.
That was
It was
strange.
in the middle of It was in the middle of the Cowboys were playing at that time. The Giants were playing at that time, right? I think the Eagles were playing at the time. It was just a weird
Yes,
time.
man. Let the ladies play on like a Tuesday or something where there ain't no other sports on. Like, why they got to compete against Sunday football? That was weird.
Yeah, that was stupid. And they fixed it late, too, by the way. Major League Baseball,
Okay.
The Dodgers beat the Phillies. The Blue Jays beat the Yankees. They lead that series 2-0. Mariners beat the Tigers. And in NFL, man, what a weekend. The Cowboys beat the Jets 37-22. The Saints...
Say it again, Envy.
You beat the Jets, bro. It's the Jets.
I don't care. A win is a win, okay? We 2-2-1.
Yeah,
All right? Better record than the New York Giants.
You're right. The Saints beat the Giants. The Colts beat the Raiders. The Panthers beat the Dolphins. Texans beat the Ravens. The Broncos beat the Eagles. Sorry, Eagle fans. The Titans beat the Cardinals. Buccaneers beat the Seahawks. The Commanders beat the Chargers. Who else? The Lions beat the Bengals. The Patriots beat the Bills. All right. Now,
I would also like to say that the Dallas Cowboys are 2-2-1. So you know what that means.
Oh, here you go.
We're going to the Super Bowl.
Yo, shut up, man. And in Monday Night Football, the Chiefs take on the Jaguars at 8:15. What's up, Mimi?
Good morning, Envy, Jess, Charlamagne. How you guys doing this Monday morning?
Good.
Good morning, Mimi.
Good morning. Okay, so we start this morning with a story that has literally been changing by the hour. A federal judge appointed by President Trump has now blocked both of the administration's attempt to send the National Guard troops into Portland. Now, the first ruling came on Saturday when the judge said the president didn't have the authority to deploy Oregon's National Guard and that there wasn't enough evidence of danger on the ground to justify it. But by Sunday, the White House tried again, this time ordering 300 members of the California National Guard to head to Portland instead. Now, that move sparked instant backlash, and after an emergency hearing late last night, that same federal judge stepped in again, blocking that plan too. That's the plan that would have sent the California troops to Oregon. Now, as you know, President Trump has been threatening to send troops to Oregon for the last week, calling the city out of control and in need of federal help. Let's listen to what he said about Portland over the weekend.
Portland is burning to the ground. It's insurrectionists all over the place. It's Antifa. And yet the politicians who are petrified. Look, the politicians are afraid for their lives. That's the only reason that they say, like, there's nothing happening. And you've seen it. The place is burning down, and they pretend like there's nothing happening.
Where is it burning down at, though? I saw Issa Rae running a marathon in Portland this weekend. Where was the burning down of everything?
I don't know, because I haven't seen it. I literally just see people riding bikes, having picnics. No one knows what he's talking about. And clearly the courts also disagree, calling his second order or his second attempt to get around her initial ruling, saying he went too far. And so when that ruling came down late last night that the California National Guard would not be going to Oregon, Governor Gavin Newsom, who sued to stop the California deployment, called it a victory for democracy. He said, quote, Trump tried to turn our soldiers into instruments for his political will, but tonight the rule of law said hell no. So for now, California's National Guard, they will be returning home. The story is still developing. We're expecting to hear more from the White House probably later today on this matter. I don't think that they're going to give up that easily. So we'll see.
Said having picnics.
That's what I see, having picnics on the lawn. Right. I still understand where he's getting this. It's burning down from. So we'll continue to watch that. And in other news, the government is still shut down, but the Supreme Court is back in session this week and is shaping up to be one of the most politically charged terms in years. So on the docket, we're talking everything from presidential power to voting laws. So far, the justices, they have agreed to hear 39 cases with decisions expected next summer. But even beyond those, the court is being flooded with emergency requests, meaning surprise rulings could could come down at any time. So let's quickly look at a few cases that I think everybody should keep their eye out for. The first one is Trump and presidential power. Just 9 months into his second term, the president has already tested the limits of what a president can do. One case will look at his use of emergency powers to slap tariffs on dozens of countries, something no president has ever done before. Now, the Supreme Court will decide whether those tariffs are legal. He's also fighting to defend his right to fire independent agency leaders, people who run watchdog groups like the FTC and the Federal Reserve. Another really important case that I think everybody should really be paying attention to involves race and voting and elections. So with the 2026 midterm elections right around the corner, the court will again weigh in on how votes are counted and how maps are drawn. So later this month, they'll hear a Louisiana redistricting case that could reshape the Voting Rights Act. Now, this case will determine whether states can continue drawing maps that protect black voters and their ability to elect leaders from their own communities, and whether that is still constitutional. So that ruling could reshape the black political voting power or just black political power in Congress for decades. So we want to keep an eye out for that. And lastly, there's another case, and we're just going to put a broad stamp on it and call it culture wars and civil rights. So the justices are stepping back into the culture wars and cases tied to abortion, religion, and racial discrimination. They'll hear from a black landlord who says the U.S. Postal Service failed to deliver her mail because of racial bias, a case over whether anti-abortion clinics must hand over donor records, and lastly, a case from a Louisiana inmate who says his dreadlocks were forcibly shaved in violation of his Rastafarian, his faith. So it's a heavy slate coming up for the justices, and no matter who you are, one of these decisions will likely impact you, whether it's voting or something in your community or LGBTQ rights and things like that.
All right.
All this stuff I feel like we should have already had figured out by now. Or we had figured out. Like, I thought we got rid of I thought we was past those micros and we were on to some bigger macros in this country, but I guess not.
Nope, not at all.
We are not. We're actually going backwards, it looks like, Charlamagne. So we'll see what happens.
All right.
Well, coming up at 7, one major retailer is stepping into a new business that could help save millions, really big money. We'll tell you what it is and how it could affect your wallet.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. Let's start off with some quick sports. Last night, WNBA, the Aces lead 2-0 in the series. They beat the Mercury 91-78. Did you see the game, Charla?
Let's go, Aces. Asia Wilson, South Carolina's own. I'm telling you, you should really watch WNBA games, man. They be very, very exciting, man.
I do watch the games, but yesterday it was smack dab in the middle of NFL. Like, it was in the middle of the Cowboys, in the middle of Giants, in the middle of right when the Eagles played. It was just like weird.
I didn't understand it, but I did watch that game because the Cowboys game wasn't on regular TV, and I decided to watch the Aces versus the Mercury yesterday afternoon.
Yeah. All right, well, and also, since we're going through the NFL, Cowboys beat the Jets, the Giants lost to the Saints, Panthers beat the Dolphins, Colts beat the Raiders, Broncos beat the Eagles, Texans beat the Ravens, Buccaneers beat the Seahawks, Titans beat the Cardinals, the Lions beat the Bengals, Commanders beat the Chargers, the Patriots beat the Bills, and then Monday Night Football, the Chiefs beat the Jaguars, and if you're a Yankees fan, we're down 2-0. All right, next game is at Yankee Stadium. What's up, Mimi?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing this morning?
Good morning.
Peace, Mimi.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay, so we start this hour with new details out of Chicago, where outrage is still growing after last week's massive immigration raid on the city's south side. The operation, complete with Black Hawk helicopters and masked federal agents, has raised new questions about the Trump administration's tactics. Now, in the early mornings, hours around 1 a.m., while people were still sleeping, federal agents rappelled from helicopters onto an apartment building. It was part of the White House, what the White House is calling Operation Midway Blitz, a month-long immigration crackdown that's already led to more than 800 arrests across Illinois. Now, officials say they were targeting members of a Venezuelan gang, one that the president has now labeled a terrorist group. But witnesses, they're telling a very different story, describing what felt like a military-style invasion, children separated from parents, people dragged outside, even the elderly and kids handcuffed. Let's listen to some of the witnesses' account from that night.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me did I have any warrants, and I told them no. They just treated us like we were nothing.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. That's all I kept asking. Where's the morality? Where's the human? One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
Damn.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what is the long-term solution for these cities. Is it just going to be martial law? Are we going to be under constant military surveillance? Like, instead of putting more money into social services, offering people more opportunities, more jobs, more education, more mental health services, we just going to offer more heavy-handed policing, and this time military policing?
That's exactly what the plan is, I think. President Trump has already said that he plans to send in more troops to Democratic-led cities. I think this is part of some of his get back that we've been talking about. Governor J.B. Pritzker says, with what happened in Illinois, that agents went too far. He's calling for an investigation. Trump is now planning to deploy 400 members of the Texas National Guard into Chicago and other Democratic-led cities, as I just said. And so, Charlamagne, we really just don't know what the objective is. It's just literally to cause more chaos in all these cities. And we were talking about Portland earlier. It just goes on and on and on and on. So
Crazy.
yeah. All right. And speaking of government overreach, there's growing concern that the Trump administration may be improperly seizing tax refunds from Americans who have defaulted on their student loans. So more than a dozen House Democrats say the Department of Education is taking people's money without proper warning, something that's already led to evictions and power shutoffs for struggling families. After a 5-year pause during the pandemic, the administration resumed student loan collections back in April, which means the government can once again garnish wages, seize tax refunds, and withhold your Social Security checks to recover that defaulted debt. But here's the issue. Federal law requires that borrowers get a 60-day warning before that happens, giving them time to appeal or make payment arrangements. Now, lawmakers say the Department of Education isn't doing that. And in some cases, it's using old notices sent years before the pandemic as if they're valid. So that means millions of Americans may be blindsided when they go file their taxes this spring and find that their refund has already been taken. Now, as many as 10 million borrowers are already in default and could be affected. The lawmakers say the problem is being made worse with the government shutdown, of course, and by the massive staffing cuts inside the Department of Education, including many of the workers who used to help borrowers navigate that repayment system and dispute those errors. So they're now calling on the administration to pause tax refund seizures until borrowers can receive updated notices and until the department can verify that its data is current. So if you have a student loan, a federal student loan, or if it's in default, now is the time to double check your info before tax season hits.
Okay.
Man, now that's not right. Let me pick and choose who I don't want to pay this month.
Right.
Okay, I need to know where every dollar is going because every bit of my money, all bills aren't created equal. Okay, some bills take precedent over others.
Right.
Yeah. And if you're counting on that tax return and it doesn't come because it's been taken and you didn't get the warning, that's just a whole other blow to those bills too. So,
Well, let me ask you a question. That changed because I remember when I got married, Gia had student loans, and I remember I was supposed to get a check coming back from my taxes when I just got out of school, and they took that check to pay the school loan. So is this new? Because they did it to me years ago.
Well, Trump, he put that back in place. So because Joe Biden had paused all of the, the having to pay back your federal loans, and he put all kinds of payment plans into effect. And when Trump came back into office now, yes, to answer your question though, Envy, yes, it has changed. So they are
so it's back
going
in play.
after people, yes, and they want their money regardless of however they can get it. They're seizing, your wages and whatever it takes to get that money back. So definitely it has changed.
All right.
And lastly,
bring on the
Costco.
extraterrestrials, man.
What'd you say, Charlotte?
I was going to say, bring on the extraterrestrials. It's time for beings from other planets to intervene. Okay, F government overreach. We need planetary overreach. It's time.
Well, Trump got that new dollar coin, so you might get that new Trump that dollar coin in the mail now. So you might get the Trump coin with him on the back saying fight, 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 fight.
What they got to do with extraterrestrials?
Nothing.
Slow,
All right, y'all, and some good news for those who are on the weight loss drug Wegovy and Ozempic. Costco is officially getting into the weight loss game, and for shoppers, that could mean big savings. So starting this week, Costco pharmacies nationwide will sell Wegovy and Ozempic. That's the wildly popular prescription drug that's used for weight loss and diabetes. They're selling it at a discounted price. So a 4-week supply will cost about $4.99 out of pocket for members with a valid prescription. You need a valid prescription to get it. It will be nearly half the price that many patients have paid at retail pharmacies. Now, the deal is part of a new partnership with the drugs maker, which says that it wants to make sure that people can buy the drug authentic. They want you to be able to get the FDA-approved versions, not the ones at a medical spa or a compounding clinic that's offering the cheaper, unregulated versions. Now, right now, only 13 states cover that GL1 weight loss drug for obesity treatment. But for many uninsured Americans, the cost has been the biggest barrier, with some paying over $1,000 a month. So doctors say Costco's move won't fix the insurance gap, but it will make sure that these drugs are more accessible to people who are paying out of pocket.
I just saw something where they said people starting now to get all these long-term effects or side effects from Ozempic. Yeah, side effects. From Ozempic.
And that's why they said you need a valid prescription. Like, your doctor needs to evaluate you, and you need to make sure that this is what is prescribed for you. You can't just walk up to the pharmacy at Costco and be like, let me get my $4.99 and get the drug.
It is taking it like just to lose weight, and when it's really a diabetic medicine, right? It's medicine for diabetes.
And when those people need it, they can't find it. There's a shortage, because so many people are now taking it for weight loss.
Be skinny. This is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Folks be scared to death of new vaccines, but you gonna buy cheap Ozempic from Costco?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm cool on that. You better get you a gym membership.
Well, yeah, we'll see, because there people are talking about all the long-term effects, like you were just saying, Jess. So that has yet to be seen what that looks like, but it's slowly rolling out. All right, y'all. Well, that
and a lot of y'all just look stupid.
Right.
The Ozempic faces y'all look crazy, especially out there in LA. Some of y'all ain't got nothing else to lose.
Crack.
Yeah.
It's like crack. You could have just did crack,
Not crack. All right, y'all. Well, that's your front page news. Go ahead, Charlotte.
No, I said you would have got the same look smoking crack. Like that's how the Ozempic people be looking. You can tell somebody who's went too far with the Ozempic.
Yeah.
Especially if they pop up skinny after being overweight.
Yes.
You can definitely tell. All right, y'all. Well, that is your front page news. I'm Mimi Brown. Follow me at Mimi Brown TV for more stories. Follow the Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app or visit BINnews.com.
All right. Thank you, Mimi.
Hold up. Every day I wake up, wake your ass up. The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?